going on, everybody? My name is Chad. This week, this video is brought to you by these beautiful Patreon subscribers. You guys are the bee's knees. Please don't ever leave me. This week's got me thinking a lot about time. This week we got the countdown coming, we have 2018 coming, so we can say goodbye to the dumpster fire that was 2017, and it got me thinking about Japan's time system. And not just, oh, how do you count to 10 in Japanese? How can you do time in Japanese? That's been done a million times. But how many people have done a Japanese traditional time video? That's right, I'm gonna teach you guys how to tell time in Edo period Japan. Yeah, let's see the anime man do that. Now this is something I want to do for a while. Like, I've looked at old Edo period manuscripts, and not in some scholarly way, but just as a curiosity. And I noticed that when things had timestamps, they didn't really seem to line up. The timestamp would say, if we were thinking about it in a normal sense, something like 1 or 2 in the morning, but it's talking about times when children would be educated. I don't know how children would be educated in the middle of the night. So I went on a visionary quest. I took some peyote, and I've come up with a couple of good answers. And I didn't actually take peyote, I read a lot of books in Japanese that tried to explain this, so I'm trying to convey this to you. Now we're gonna start with this monstrosity. Take it in, because that is how they kept time. All that's happening there, that was just how they did it. And don't worry, you don't have to read kanji, I'll break this down for you. So there's a couple easy facets. Obviously the dark section is gonna be night, and the bright section is gonna be day. That seems pretty obvious. If you guys look at the 1 through 12 numbers in the center of it, that's going to be how it correlates to our time, the standard way that the West has kept time. Now, beyond this being a nightmare, there's another thing that you guys have to take into account. The time fluctuated in Japan. So in the West, at least here in America, in certain states, we have, like, you know, was it time forward or set back, where you go an hour forward or an hour back because winter and summer are freaking weird? Well, in Japan, they didn't actually do that. They kept the sunrise and sunset at consistent times, but they made the hours in between longer or shorter based on whether it was summer or winter. Which, let me tell you, if you were in summer school, would be awesome, because then you would get out soon. But if you were going to school in the winter, it would suck, because every hour is now like 50% longer. So next time you're sitting in Japanese class staring at the clock, just be thankful we use the Western time scale. Let me do some spit facts for you. Let me talk about Japanese cities, feudal Japanese cities. Yes, the cities were built around the feudal system, so obviously the centers usually were castles and various dojos and political establishments, but all these facets wouldn't work without one thing: a bell tower. Yes, the mighty bell tower, besides just being a very weird thing for indie bands to sing songs about, were incredibly crucial for Japanese society. Why is that? Well, then we gotta get into the weird timekeeping system. If you guys look back at this thing, you can see that there's roughly 6 lines on the bottom, 6 lines on the top. Those are called koku. A koku is a time increment that is basically like a 2-hour time period in today's hours. So if you have a 24-hour clock, there are 12 koku. Fun fact about these koku, they also correlate to the Japanese Zodiac system. So instead of 2 p.m., you get to have your lunch break at the rat. Now here's the tricky thing, and this is the thing that got me confused. Most individual people didn't go off of which koku it was, because the average person didn't wake up at the same time, they didn't go to bed at the same time. If they weren't set up on those daylight and twilight hours, everything would be messed up. Everything would be 1 or 2 kokus off or a few moments off. And when you're trying to create a system that runs off time so things are consistent and actual, it would just be a mess. If there wasn't a central time system, call back to the bell tower. You see where I'm coming from? So what happened? Every single day at noon and at midnight, the people in the bell tower would ring the bell 9 times. Why specifically 9? Don't ask me, but they rang it 9 times. And as it would go down, or I guess back up depending on what time of the day you're in, it would be 9 at midnight, and then 8 and 7, and then 6 was always at twilight and at sunrise. Twilight and sunrise? Yeah, twilight and sunrise. And then it keeps going to 5 to 4, but at 4, the next koku that happens resets it at 9, because that would be noon, so it would be another 9 bells, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then back to midnight with 9. Why they skipped 3, 2, and 1, don't ask me. I'm not a Scientologist. So that's where my confusion came from. It didn't come from it being the 3rd koku that people kept track of. They actually kept track of it by being the 4 bell rings of the day, which roughly equated to noon, which means we better get lunch started. It's confusing, but let me just say, thank God Western time system is used there. I can't get off half past raccoon. I don't have that in me. So this 2018, feel free to count down the 9 bells of the rat Zodiac. And we can welcome in Heisei 30, the actual year of our Lord, Heisei 30. Or 2018, depending on who you talk to. Anyways, if you guys like this video, be sure to like it down below. I tremendously appreciate it. It helps me keep making this stuff, keeps me motivated, keeps me functional, keeps me regular. Likes are my fiber. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, or compliments, leave them in the comment box down below. I read all of them, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you guys like this video, check out my Saturday live streams, check out my Monday, or I think I'm changing it to Tuesday now, D&D podcast. I make content 3 times a week to fill your life full of goodness like this. Things about Japan, Japanese, nerdy stuff, history, culture, all the fun things without, or at least hopefully not without being cringy. Which I recognize now is also kind of cringy of me to say. Anyways, want to support this? There's a tip jar on my channel. I have a Patreon that helps me do all of this fun stuff and keep the quality growing, keep the channel moving. Just this last year, I went from 900 subs to 9,000 subs, so thank you so much for a beautiful 2017. This will be the last video of 2017, so thank you guys for an amazing year. I'm looking forward so much to 2018, and I hope if you are watching this, you will join me in the adventure. Anyways, love deep, love hard, and I'll see you guys in 2018.